Hello friends, a new El Clasico is upon us. Messi versus Ronaldo might return, but this time in Saudi Arabia. Al-Hilal want Lionel Messi. Cristiano Ronaldo is already waiting. And if it happens, football may never be the same again. Meanwhile, Chelsea just dropped 65 million euros on Dortmund's Jamie Gittins, and Liverpool are clashing with Konaté over a new deal. This transfer window is wild. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's dive straight in. Chelsea entered this summer with one glaring problem they couldn't sweep under the carpet: the right wing position. It wasn't a luxury upgrade. They needed a solution, and fast. What unfolded was a textbook example of how Chelsea's transfer business operates these days. A few setbacks followed by a decisive, money-fueled breakthrough. The first attempt was Alejandro Garnacho. Chelsea tried to pry the Argentine away from Manchester United back in January, only to be firmly rebuffed. They circled back this summer, but the answer was still a firm no. Next up was Jadon Sancho, a more plausible target given United's openness to selling. But Chelsea pulled out, reportedly put off by Sancho's lofty wage demands. Meanwhile, whispers grew louder that Noni Madueke's days at Chelsea were numbered, turning the right-wing crisis into a full-blown emergency. That's when the club shifted gears and zeroed in on Jamie Gittins. Their initial €55 million bid was brushed aside by Dortmund without a counteroffer. With Bayern lurking, ready to swoop, Chelsea knew they had to act fast and hard. They returned with a firm €65 million offer, and Dortmund accepted. No charm, no drawn-out negotiations, just raw financial muscle. But this signing sets off a chain reaction. First, the player himself. Gittins lands a dream move to a Premier League powerhouse and signs a 7-year deal at just 20. But with a hefty €65 million price tag and a dip in form late last season under Dortmund's new coach, the pressure to perform will be immense. Second, Chelsea's squad dynamics. This deal likely spells the end for Noni Madueke at Stamford Bridge. Plus, with such a big investment, Chelsea will need to offload other expensive assets to comply with financial fair play rules. João Felix and Christopher Nkunku are reportedly top candidates to leave. Third, the club's transfer philosophy. This move underscores the new ownership's strategy: spot elite young talent early and back it with big money, no matter the cost. So while Chelsea have solved one pressing problem, they've also opened up a host of new challenges, justifying the fee, managing sky-high expectations, and squeezing Gittins into an already crowded wage bill. What's your take? Has Chelsea made a masterstroke, or are they setting themselves up for headaches down the line? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm keen to hear your views on this blockbuster transfer. When Messi and Ronaldo left Europe, many of us thought it was the end of an era. The greatest rivalry in sports history, spanning over 15 unforgettable years, had finally drawn to a close. But maybe we jumped the gun. It seems the story isn't over yet, especially with Saudi Arabia's ambitions rewriting the football map. After signing Cristiano Ronaldo for Al-Nassr, Saudi Arabia apparently wants to complete the picture by bringing in his eternal rival, Lionel Messi. Reports say Al-Hilal, Ronaldo's main Saudi rival club, are making a serious push to lure Messi to the Middle East, aiming to recreate the magic of El Clasico on their own turf and shift football's global spotlight to the desert. This isn't just idle gossip. Al-Hilal's president, Fahad bin Naufal, has reportedly flown to the United States to meet Messi's father and agent, Jorge Messi, with an offer so lucrative it's almost impossible to refuse. Forget long talks about sporting projects. This is about a staggering contract loaded with zeros, designed to seal the deal quickly before the rest of the football world even catches wind. But why would Messi consider this? His current deal with Inter Miami runs until the end of 2025, and officially, he said he's impressed by Saudi Arabia's quality of life, safety, and schools during his visits as a tourism ambassador. Yet, for a player who spent his entire career at Barcelona and now enjoys life in Miami, the real motivator is almost certainly the historic wealth on offer, enough to secure his family's future for generations. There's also the ego factor. At 38, the chance to outshine Ronaldo once more, on a global stage and in a new league, is a tempting prospect, perhaps more so than any American fairy tale. This potential move could be the final chapter in one of football's greatest sagas, either the ultimate sporting spectacle of the 21st century or a cold, calculated business decision that signals the end of the football we once loved. What do you think? How will this story end? And if Messi does join Al-Hilal, will you be tuning in to watch the Saudi El Clasico? Be honest. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. The latest drama at Anfield centers on Ibrahima Konaté, and this contract saga is shaping up to be one of the summer's most intriguing subplots. Negotiations over his new deal have come to a grinding halt, with Konaté's camp reportedly unimpressed by Liverpool's opening offer. The defender and his agents are pushing for a substantial pay rise, but Liverpool are standing firm, determined not to blow up their wage structure or set a precedent that could trigger a domino effect in the dressing room. This isn't just a case of a player angling for a payday. For Arne Slot, keeping his defensive core intact is crucial, especially with Van Dijk not getting any younger. Konaté is seen as the present and future of Liverpool's backline, and losing him would mean ripping out a key pillar of the squad. Publicly, Konaté is all smiles, insisting he's happy at the club and that rumors are just noise. But when the contract question comes up, he gives that sly grin and dodges with a, "That's a different conversation." It's less reassurance, more a warning shot across the boardroom table. Meanwhile, European heavyweights are circling. Real Madrid are reportedly keen, picturing him alongside Rudiger, while PSG would love to bring another French international home. Imagine the headlines in Paris. So Liverpool face a real dilemma. Do they loosen the purse strings and risk opening the floodgates, or hold their ground and gamble with one of their most valuable assets? Konaté's camp knows exactly how much leverage they have, and they're playing it to perfection. If this saga drags on, don't be surprised if Konaté's contract standoff becomes the new summer soap opera every Liverpool fan is glued to, complete with cryptic social media posts, transfer whispers, and plenty of nervous glances from the cop. What's your take? Should Liverpool pay up to keep their defensive rock, or stick to their guns and risk losing him to one of Europe's giants? Let's hear your thoughts in the comments. This debate is just getting started. Alright folks, grab your popcorn, because the João Pedro transfer saga is heating up and Chelsea are dancing their way to the front of the queue. Now here's how it all kicked off. Newcastle United thought they had it in the bag. They went in strong. £50 million for Brighton's Brazilian baller. Brighton said, "Nice try, but no thanks." So Newcastle added more. Over £60 million, plus goalkeeper James Trafford. Still, Brighton crossed their arms and said, "Not today." Un drame. And just when it looked like a stalemate, boom, Chelsea entered the chat. But not just with money. Oh no. They came in smooth, suave, and strategic. Picture this: a 7-year deal, a guaranteed starting role, and a ticket to the Club World Cup in the US. That's not a pitch. That's a dream vacation with a signing bonus. João Pedro didn't hesitate. Personal terms, agreed, medicals, scheduled, vibes, immaculate. Chelsea are pushing hard to get this deal done before July 3rd. And if they do, Pedro could be rocking the blue jersey and dancing through defenders at the Club World Cup. Let's talk numbers, shall we? Last season, João Pedro lit up the pitch with 20 goals in all competitions, 10 in the Premier League, and more nutmegs than a Christmas market. He's got flair, finesse, and finishing. Think Firmino, but younger and with even more sauce. And Chelsea. They're cooking up something spicy under new manager Enzo Maresca. With Nicholas Jackson already causing trouble up front, Pedro adds movement, magic, and a bit of that Brazilian boldness. He's not a backup plan, he's the headline act. Now you might be thinking, wait, is Newcastle out of the race? Not quite. Word on the street is they're not done trying. We might just get one more twist before this deal is done. But right now, Stamford Bridge is setting the table and Pedro looks ready to feast. From Watford to Brighton, and now possibly to one of the biggest clubs in Europe, João Pedro is proof that hard work, style, and a killer left foot can take you to the top. Chelsea fans, get ready. You might just have your next superstar. And Premier League defenders? Well, good luck. Once cast aside, now adored, but still far from secure. This is the roller coaster tale of Antony, the Brazilian winger who's gone from Manchester United outcast to a real Betis sensation. When he first arrived in Seville on loan, the football world shrugged. But then, something clicked. 9 goals, 5 assists, and countless moments of brilliance in just 26 matches. The player who had once been mocked found joy, rhythm, and most importantly, belief. Antony wasn't just playing again. He was thriving. He was electric. He was home. The fans took him in like one of their own. The coach trusted him. The squad rallied around him. And for the first time in a long time, Antony smiled on the pitch. The fairy tale was writing itself. But just as quickly as it bloomed, the reality check hit. Manchester United, still smarting from their £86 million mistake, slapped a heavy £40 million price tag on him. And under financial fair play rules, they have to get at least £32.5 million back just to avoid a loss on the books. For Betis, a club built on heart more than wallet, that's not just a stretch, it's a fantasy. So out came the PR lines. It's a difficult deal. We'll need to be creative. Translation? Don't expect miracles, and United, lower your price. While chaos swirled off the pitch, Antony, calm as ever. On the field, he was putting on a show. Flicks, tricks, goals, and that samba swagger. Every touch, a statement. A statement to Manchester United. You pulled the plug too early. A nod to Betis. You believed, and I delivered. And maybe, just maybe, a whisper to himself. You've still got it. Now the summer transfer heat is rising, and Antony's right in the middle of it. He wants to stay. Betis wants to keep him. But let's be real. Football dreams don't run on emotions alone. They run on money. And while Betis are dreaming, other clubs are scheming. Italy's curious, Turkey's listening, Saudi Arabia, well, they're always calling. And just like as for Antony, he's seen the highs, the lows, and everything in between. If this is the end of his Betis chapter, he'll walk away with his head high, knowing he didn't just show up. He showed out. Because this wasn't just a loan, it was a comeback concert. And wherever the next stage is, the world's watching, popcorn in hand.